It's almost time to start crafting for Easter and spring. So today I put together the top 7 viewer favorites to get you into the spring and Easter mood for the 2024 crafting season. Let's go. Let's jump into DIY number 1 from March of 2022. You're going to need one of these tall galvanized buckets that you can find year round at the Dollar Tree, and some orange paint and baking soda. I was going for a textured look on this bucket. I wanted it to kind of look like a giant carrot, which, if you look at the shape of the bucket, it sort of resembles a carrot because it tapers off down the end. Anyway, there's no rhyme nor reason to mixing up paint with baking soda. You just mix it to the consistency that you want to get the texture that you want. Now, on this first coat, I didn't quite have enough baking soda, but I'm still applying it using my sponge brush. Anytime you're doing this kind of technique, I strongly recommend a sponge brush. That way, when you're done, you can take the sponge part off, save the handle because it is a wooden dowel, and use it for other crafts. I let the first coat completely dry overnight, and I came back and made my second coat thicker just by adding some more baking soda. And to get the texture that I want, I'm using more of a dabbing motion. And I think you'll be able to see that better in the final shots. But that's the whole purpose of the baking soda, is, of course, to give the bucket texture. And that's what I wanted. Guys, I want to welcome you to this viewer favorites video. If you are new here, welcome. I am Robin. If you are returning, welcome back. I love you guys. You mean the world to me. So, in order for this to look like a carrot, in my mind, I'm using my antique wax and dirtying up the jute rope that is around the top, and then going over the bucket itself, highlighting some of the texture left by the orange paint and baking soda mixture. And you can do this as much or as little as you like. I filled the bucket with floral foam. I did not glue anything down. That way, when the spring season is over, it makes it a lot easier just to take everything out. You can reuse that greenery, and all you have to do is store your bucket. So I arranged some boxwood, some ferns. I wanted some pieces that were hanging out. And then I took 5 of these dollar store carrots. They have them this year. I've seen them out, and I put them on. I think I put them on skewer sticks or dowel rods. You can use either one, because I did want them at varying heights in the arrangement, and I'm just making sure that I fix it to where none of that floral foam shows. And the cute little bunny butt, he's a naughty bunny. He jumped in to a patch full of carrots, and all you can see is his cute little booty sticking out. I love this to this day. This is still one of my favorite Easter spring crafts that I have ever done. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments. DIY number 2 is again from March of 2022. And I'm starting out with just a small block of scrap wood, giving it one good coat of cashew chalk paint all over, front, back, and sides. I do want to mention that all of the original video links for these DIYs will be in the description box below, so you can go back and watch the full video. To make the bunny's ears, I'm using this burlap paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. I've not been able to find it recently. I believe you can find it on Amazon. I will try to link it below if I can find it. All I did was make a teardrop shape, traced it out, and am cutting it out on the burlap paper. Now, if you can't find the burlap paper, you can use cardboard and cover it with burlap, or maybe you could just use burlap and stiffen it up with some Mod Podge or something like that. There are lots of options. If you could find teardrop shapes of wood, that would work as well. I know I have some of those in my stash. So the inside of the little bunny's ears, they always have a little pink tint to them. And I found this little jar of paint at Lowe's. This is actually one of the sample bottles. It's pretty inexpensive, or at least it was when I made this video 2 years ago. And it's in this really pretty shade of light pink. So I'm just taking my time going around the inside of the ear where I think the little pink skin needs to be. I want to take just a minute to say thank you to all my subscribers and viewers for joining me on this video. It's actually a trip down memory lane for me. Some of you may have seen these DIYs before. A lot of you probably haven't, since I have grown quite a bit since these original videos were made. So if you're viewing them for the first time, I hope you enjoy them. If this is your second time seeing them, well, you get a refresher course. If you are new to this channel, I would invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you join our Crafty Crew community here on YouTube. I know you're going to love it. For the bunny's cute little feet, I cut out sort of a long oval shape, and I'm using that same shade of pink and the end of a paintbrush to dab on the little, his little paw pads, if you will. This turns out so cute. I don't know about you, but I am more than ready to start crafting for spring and Easter. I'm over winter. We've had snow, we've had cold temperatures. I am so ready for some pretty colors and all the signs of spring. Now, here I'm using some of my chipboard letters from my huge stash that you guys will see next week in an upcoming video. But these were very inexpensive. If you don't have chipboard letters, you can use wood letters, stickers, use your own handwriting. But I think just adding these letters to the little wood block gives it another layer of dimension. And I used this celery color chalk paint by Waverly to give them just one good coat. Once everything had dried, it was time to put it all together. So I'm first putting down the hop word, making sure all the letters are nice and even. And I just used my Gorilla Hot Glue sticks to attach everything down to my block. I put his little feet kind of cattywampus. I thought that would be really cute. And this is again, one of my favorite pieces. For his ears, I kind of bend them into shape like I want them, place them how I think they look good to the back of the little block. And that's all there was to this cute little tiered tray piece or shelf sitter, wherever you want to put it. It's adorable. You let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Spring DIY number 3 is this cute little bunny rabbit planner. For this DIY, I used one wood crate from Michael's and 2 bunnies that I picked up at Dollar General. I hope they have something similar this year because those were really nice, thick, chunky pieces. And they were only $1 a piece 2 years ago. So I am, of course, removing all the labels from everything. and getting them ready to paint. So for the crate, it was pretty rough. I always sand off these wood pieces, whether they're from Michael's or Dollar Tree, before I paint them. Now, I thought it would help me if I gave the bunnies one good coat of white chalk paint, because I will be using acrylic paint in purple to paint the bunnies. I was wrong. It took 4 coats of the purple acrylic paint to cover the bunny rabbits. Now, for the crate, I'm using Dixie Belle's chalk paint in the color drop cloth. I paint both sides and part of the ends because I didn't want that wood to show through when I glued my rabbits to each side. Now, I cut out some scrapbook paper, glued it down to one side of each rabbit, and am applying some hot glue and Gorilla Glue gel to each bunny, and of course, one will go on each end of the crates. Sorry about that super fast mode, guys. This was back when I was just trying to hone in my editing skills. But as you see, that scrapbook paper really matches well with that petunia color paint, and I believe that's from Apple Barrel. And I did get the scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. I wanted this arrangement to be really full, so I started off with a lot of boxwood. That's one of my favorite greeneries to use. I cut off some little white flowers, stuffed in some pretty little lavender picks that I had, or lavender color flower picks that I had. And that was it for this. I still have this one to this day as well, and I love the way it turned out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. For spring DIY number 4, we're going to be making these rustic carrots using 2 of these hearts from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing I did was to put some spackle on the holes. I'm also going to be using part of a spindle that I just had in my stash, and I give it one good coat of the pumpkin chalk paint by Waverly. These are so rustic and so farmhouse, and I mean, it wouldn't be spring and Easter without carrots, right? So once the spackle had dried, I did sand that off, gave the hearts a good coat of the same pumpkin chalk paint. And of course, carrots don't come out of the ground clean, so we need to dirty them up. So I'm using my antique wax to do that. And on the spindle, I'm making sure that I get in all the little grooves to really bring that out. Now, here's where having all that scrap greenery comes into play. I'm just cutting off sprigs here and there, and I'm hot gluing them to the front of each piece. And you could also use a drill and make a hole in the very top of the hearts and the spindle, which if I make these again, that's what I'll probably do. It'll give it a more natural look, but the hot glue worked just fine. So it's just whatever I had on hand that I used for the greenery on the carrots. Then to give them even more of that farmhouse look, for the hearts, I took 2 pieces of just scrap fabric, tied them around the top, and then no, for one heart, I used fabric. Well, you see what I did. Then I took the edge off of a piece of burlap, tied it into a bow, and used that to dress up the other carrot. And I love the way these turned out. This was a simple, quick, and easy DIY that you could leave out all spring long. DIY number 5 is a hat door hanger that I made for my mom. So we take a hat from the Dollar Tree these flowers I think I got from Michael's, some pipberry garland in these pastel colors from Hobby Lobby, and ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I also used this welcome metal word, and I gave it a good coat of the apple barrel paint in the color Petunia. Next, I took the burlap and lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using that as the hat band, just using some hot glue to attach that down all the way around the hat. I hope you're getting lots of inspiration for your spring and Easter decorating. If you are, please give this video a thumbs up and be sure to leave me a comment after you finish the whole video and let me know which one your favorite was from today. So to dress up the middle of the hat even more, I'm taking that pipberry garland, and I think I made maybe 3 or 4 laps around the center, just using hot glue as needed to hold it into place. My mama just loves this hat wreath. She hangs it on her front door even to this day, and I made it 2 years ago. But anyway, so for the florals, I cut them into 3 separate pieces, and I zip tied them together to make sure they wouldn't come apart. I'm taking the biggest piece and zip tying it in a couple of places to the straw hat. I like to use zip ties whenever I can when I'm making wreaths or whatever, because it just gives a better hold. So I zip tied the other 2 bundles of the original floral bundle into place. And I decided to add some little sprigs that I had from my stash. I am using a dab of hot glue, and I'm sliding it under the zip tie that I had on the bigger piece there. I'm sorry I didn't get a better view of that. Um, but I just added a little dab for a little extra security. And then I also hot glued down some of the edges of the greenery just to keep it from, I don't know, blowing all over the place. Next, I'm taking the welcome word and using a combination of my Gorilla Super Glue Gel and hot glue to attach it to the top of the hat. And my mama loves purple. I guess like mother, like daughter, because I love purple too. And she told me very specifically that she wanted welcome in purple. So that's what my mama got. I glued down tails to a bow because another one of her orders was she wanted a big bow. Well, 2 years ago, my bow making skills were pretty bad, but I made loops, hot glued those loops together, and then layered them on top of each other, tied all those loops together with a piece of jute, hot glued that down to the tails. I did dovetail the ends on all the pieces. And then I just took a little hot glue and used it to hold down some of the ribbon to the hat. And that was pretty much it for this. She loved the way it turned out. I do anything for my mama. I think it's pretty. Let me know what you think about it. Spring DIY number 6 is this beautiful pink bunny decor. I got this scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby and a little wood rabbit from the Dollar Tree. So I'm simply going to trace him where I want the pattern to be, and then I'll cut it out and attach him down with a glue stick. If you're still here with me getting inspiration from this video, then leave me a bunny emoji down in the comment section, or you can just type the word bunny. That really helps out my channel. So I also need one of these oval plaques from the Dollar Tree, another piece of scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby, and it coordinates beautifully with the little bunny. Actually, Hobby Lobby does still have these papers in stock. The last time I was in there, you could buy them by the single sheet. So if you want to recreate this, you certainly can, or you can use different colors. I just love pink. It's another one of my favorite colors. I like a lot of different colors. As you saw there, I used a sanding block to remove the excess paper from the edges of the bunny. And I applied the same technique to the oval round, good grief, to the oval piece. I glued down the paper with a glue stick, went around the edges with a sanding block, but I didn't want to leave that bare. So I went around the edge using some plaster chalk paint. I cut two pieces of lace ribbon and I attached one piece to the top of the piece and another to the bottom with just little dabs of hot glue just to dress it up. I thought it looked so pretty this way. And if you know me, my crafts, I don't use lace a whole lot. But for this piece, I was really feeling it and I thought it really fit this whole vibe I had going on. Now I thought I was finished, so I used a piece of that same lace to make a hanger. And then once I flipped it over and got to looking at it, it just, I don't know, the bunny blended in too much with the oval. So to give the bunny some definition, I took these uh, pearl bead stickers. They're the only stickers that I really keep in my stash, and I'm painting them using the plaster chalk paint. And I think I use most of the sheet. These come in really handy for lots of things, for outlining, you know, projects, for using them as fake little thumbtacks, to give that thumbtack look if you don't have any thumbtacks. But I peeled them off in strips and I'm using them to just outline the bunny rabbit. And this is exactly what this piece needed to set the bunny off from the background paper. This is one of my favorite pieces. This one was definitely a viewer favorite from February of 2022, and I love it. I love the colors. I just love the way he pops off that background now. He's cute and so pretty. This is a DIY that you can leave up spring and summer. I'm using one of these house shapes that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and I'll be painting it with the maize color chalk paint. I'm also going to use these rub-on transfers that I got from the Dollar Tree. Guys, I just want to take a minute and say thank you so much for helping me kick off 2024 in such a big way. We are growing the community by leaps and bounds. So be sure to leave me a comment below and let me know which one is your favorite for today. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that and join our crafty crew where you'll get tons of creative ideas each week. And if you're still in the mood for more Easter and spring DIY ideas, then you'll want to check out the playlist that I'm going to leave here on the screen for you. Tons of cute stuff. And until next time, guys, y'all go get your craft on. Bye.